Hey, what's up, Couch Potatoes? We are back today to talk a little House of Dragon. This is for episode 7 of season 2. This is called the Red Sowing, or as my wife has been aggressively, passionately calling it,
Army of Bastards.
Army of Bastards, which I think would have been a pretty good name, honestly.
Yeah.
That might come up more than once. So sorry we're a day late, guys. We were traveling. We got back on Monday night. Everything's just been kind of set off for a day, but we should be back next week for the finale at regular time. If this is the first time you guys are watching our little program here, we will be talking about spoilers for this episode. I have read the book. She has not. And anything that has happened in the books, I'm getting a message, always get a message while I'm doing this. Anything that's happened in the books past this point, I will not be spoiling for you because I don't want to spoil it for her because I'm loving these non-reader reactions. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so after the big cliffhanger last week, we waste no time. We get right down to the showdown on the beach. And are you a little anxious? What's going to happen here? Are you a little worried? A little bit of a good, the bad, and the ugly kind of showdown here. You getting a little bit of that? A little showdown?
Yeah, it's definitely showdown. I did like the framing of that. The dragons were antsy. I was like, these dragons gonna go, and
I don't know. I think that Cyrax was just like, "Hey, sea smoke, how you doing?" You know, no, I mean that's what it looked like to me. It looked like they were just saying, "What's up?" You know, or, "Can you believe these guys got us fighting again?" Yeah, well, whatever.
that one.
So Adam he bends the knee really quickly, and I think that Rainier was like, "Is this a trap?" You know, so
Very
way
much
too easy because
suspicious.
this just benefits me way too much. I've just acquired a nuclear bomb. If this is what I think it is, and you're just that quick, I mean, I think she's thinking I'm going to get closer and he's going to knife me or something like
Yes.
that. So I do get that, but it makes sense. He does make a point to say that, I don't know who my dad is, no one of consequence, so that's why I think when Corlys does see him, he's kind of like, I might have known, like when
Yeah.
Gandalf sees Merry and Pippin with the fireworks. It's kind of how he acted, like, damn, how about that? And I do like that Corlys does try to go to Alan and be like, hey, do you want to try to do this too? And again, we get on the Salton Sea, which is really cool. I really do dig when they do that. That's just something I really do dig about that family. It is cool. I mean, it's like the light side of the Force, dark side of the Force. The dragons seem really cool, but hey, this is what I was supposed to be doing. What I'm doing here, I'm not going to bail at the first sign here. But Jace, I got to talk about Jace.
Oh yeah.
He's not really a fan of the idea that he came up with. Now, to be fair, his idea was we're going to look for nobles, other nobles down the line of succession, basically, that could possibly, be able to bond with the dragon. But now that she's willing to do, hey, give anyone really a try that might have some bastard blood, maybe. He's not too much for it. I get it. I understand why. I mean, he's very clearly, he's finally talking out. Yeah, I know Harwin Strong was my dad.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, I'm not
Cat's
stupid.
out of the bag.
Yeah, so I think he already knows that people were always going to challenge his claim or be wary of him for that reason. And, as long as he had a dragon, he at least felt like, okay, well, I have that as another part of my birthright of saying, hey, this is why I am.
This legitimizes me.
Yeah. Now, if, any bastard can do it, then what's going to keep people from calling, oh, yeah, the bastard king again, if he ever gets there. So I get it.
But if she's I don't know.
What?
If she's the queen, who does it matter who his dad is? She's the queen.
I mean, yeah. I mean, these people got feelings, man. They got feelings, okay?
No, he definitely should have feelings. This is probably the first time he's talked about.
Do you think that Ares II liked being called the Mad King? Probably not. Probably not.
I don't think anybody was mad enough to say it.
Was he
to
the
his
Scab
face.
King, too? Which one was the Scab King? Was he the Scab King?
Oh, I don't think so, no.
All right, you think whoever that king that was, you think he liked being called the Scab King? So I don't think that he would like to be
anyone was
called the
stupid enough
Bastard
to call
King.
it to his face.
Oh, man, there's so much more with those things going on. But Alicent is depressed. She's very, very depressed. I mean, we saw last week she feels like she has no point anymore. And so I don't know if she was deciding to go and drown herself or if she's just going out in the wilderness to find herself. I don't really know exactly.
Yeah, there was a second there. I thought it was the end of Alicent. It was very Ophelia.
Honestly, for a second, I was like, well, this will be a huge deviation because let's just say that's not where Alicent's story does end in the book. So I was kind of like, they might be veering off the course here. I think back to, honestly, now this is when they were running out of source material on the main show. But Barristan the Bold, when they killed off Barristan on the regular series of Game of Thrones, I was like, he's still alive in the books.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the time I thought, okay, well, maybe they're doing something like that. But then I remember, oh, yeah, they actually have completed source material here. So they're not going to do that yet. But I don't know, I thought it was really weird. But I do like she's not wearing the green dress anymore.
Yeah, that caught my attention right away when she exited her quarters and picked up, what is it, Sir Rickon?
Yeah, a Rickon Thorne. Who is Alistair Thorne. You guys might know Sir Alistair Thorne in the regular timeline. That's an interesting character, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was cool seeing her in the blue dress again, like she was when the younger version of Alicent was wearing the
Well,
blue
the young
dress.
has the light blue. She has it's a greenish blue.
Not
but-
wearing her 7-pointed star anymore, you know. So I don't know. I think it was someone else brought up that it seems like that Rhaenyra is starting to embrace religion more, and Alicent's starting to embrace it less. Are you getting that, or you just think that hey, she went swimming, she's not gonna go swimming with her jewelry on?
Right. I would say I would need more than one episode to be like,
Yeah.
oh, it's trending.
If she's going out and roughing it in the woods, because you look at that little tent,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, I've been camping in tents that small when I was like 18 and had no money. So I was like, surely she can get a bigger tent than that. So yeah, you
But
probably
I don't
want
think
to
she
go.
wants a bigger tent.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
she's trying to be definitely
Low-key.
trying to distance herself from the Red Keep and
Well, let's talk about your family now. Your family being the Tullys,
Yes,
Tullys here.
yes.
Family duty honor. I got to say, I was wrong. Oscar Tully is not a punk. I thought the way that his first appearance, I was like, well, Damon is just going to be able to control this kid with no problem.
No, you should have known that when Damon was like, "Hey, so you got a pillow or
Yeah.
something?"
No,
And
I mean-
Oscar's like, "No, friend."
And it's
I do
also
not."
like, hey, I don't want to smother my family member as opposed to like, oh, yes, I don't know what to do. So I'm 12 years old. Kind of remember me of a young lady Mormont, that
Yeah.
attitude. It's just like,
Yeah.
he's in control, I like the way that he's just right up in the face here, like flat out, I don't fucking like you.
Yeah.
But I know what my duty is, and they are going to bend the knee to Rhaenyra. But he makes Damon...
family duty honor.
Yeah,
So we've got that honor to.
He does make Damon basically prove himself. Makes him go up
Honorable.
and slice William Blackwood. And
He
I
was
mean,
just
this is
doing what he was told to do.
I just the part that made me laugh was Damon just kind of like, look, my methods may have been a little enthusiastic. Is that the word that you would use? Psychotic might have been what I'd have went for. But yeah, I'm not surprised that he did it. He looks at William Blackwood as a means to an end. And I think Damon is very much the essence of you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. I definitely think that. So
I think he maybe breaks an unnecessary amount of eggs, but okay.
he takes that 5 dozen pack we get from Costco and just slams
drops
that
it.
shit on the ground.
It's
Right?
like omelets. Omelets were made.
Well, I mean, it's just like all that Willem did was what his Lord told him to do, right?
Ooh.
And he probably went a little. He might have went a little Ramsay Bolton with it, but. I don't know. It's all happened off camera. We don't know. And I just saw somebody complain about this. Do you feel like they've wimped out a little bit on the Thrones universe because
The cutaway.
the
for
old
the
series
beheading, yes.
would have shown that
Yes.
head flipping around, and this
Yeah.
just shows Damon's face.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I will. I mean, they showed him cut the dude's head off like right here last
Oh, yeah,
year. So
last
I don't. They showed
season.
him cut a dude's scrotum off last year. So I don't feel like they're wimping out. But I will say that was the first time I kind of been like, huh. This show never really backs away from the violence.
Which
I'm
is
actually
why
surprised they
I'm
do
like,
that.
did he not cut Blackthorn's head? No, not. It's Blackthorn, right?
Willem
no.
Blackwood.
Blackwood. I'm like, because they did the cutaway like that, and I'm like, maybe he.
Well, it wouldn't be an episode of House of the Dragon or Game of Thrones without me talking about the amazing costuming. And I got just credit again, Oscar Tully's armor. It's got the scales, kind of like the Blackfish
Yes.
had. So cool. So awesome. I never get enough of this. I love seeing all the sigils. And with this, all these families, there were some families that I wasn't even
The
familiar
Riverland
with.
families, yeah.
And I was like, I've never seen some of these sigils before. So I was looking some of this stuff up in between. It was really awesome stuff. I love the little fine details like that make me continue to go to my World of Ice and Fire book and look these things up because it's just so damn cool. It's just seeing all this stuff. Just
Lord Beesbury.
you get so used to, as a reader of the series, you get so used to the main series, probably all those families, and you go back to the history, you're like, oh, I don't even know that. There's
Yeah.
actually a family called like Dunwoody or something like that. Or something. Manwoody. Yeah,
Oh.
there's a Manwoody family, I think.
I think I definitely changed my name.
I might be wrong on that. So there is a quick little haunting at Harrenhal this week. It's a quick one. It's just a quick one. We do get to see the goat again. We do
Yeah.
get to see the goat again. And
Which is that? Is that Alice Rivers?
well,
is
you
she
said
a
is that
goat?
Alice?
Is she an owl?
I think you said you saw an owl when they were outside in the courtyard, right? You did see an owl, and you assumed that it might just be the barn owl. Might just be her.
I'm just a barn owl.
Because she didn't appear this episode, we think.
Maybe.
But the one vision is of sick Viserys. Sick Viserys holding the crown.
All
And
decrepit.
look at that. I turn my bonk messages off, and she doesn't.
I don't
She's new
ever
at
get
this.
messages.
She's new at this, guys. She's doing good though. She's doing very good. I never get messages.
I don't even know people.
You woke up all night with this. Okay. Yeah, so it's Viserys when he's like very, very sick, and he's basically holding the crown and saying, you know, all it does is cause pain and misery. Is this still really what you want?
Heavy is the head that wears the crown?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this is
very
this.
much.
I know. I want to know what you think. Do you think this is that kind of that moment where Damon's like, yeah, I do? Or do you think this is the point where he's like, okay, this is getting way too hairy now? Or do you think there is a way too hairy for Daemon?
For Daemon, no, I don't think there's a way too hairy. I do think he's an opportunist at best. I mean, he hasn't come out and declared he's Team Daemon when he's clearly Team Daemon above everything. But he is at least loosely acting under Team Rhaenyra. Okay. So maybe he goes through this and he looks at the end and he's like, yeah, I don't want to be saddled with this crown heavy with responsibilities and consequences. And I'll let her have it, and then I can still be chaotic evil.
I think back when Daemon conquered the Stepstones and he came back and he bent the knee to Viserys. You know, I think it's like that. He goes there with those ambitions, but in the end, I think he's gonna. What does he say that you should always listen to your liege lord? Rhaenyra is his liege lord. Okay, it's going to be like that. I that's what I think. That's what I think. I think. If I didn't know already, what I would think reading this is that, yes, when the time comes, when it's nut cutting time, when the chips are down, and Rhaenyra says, will you bend the knee to me, he'll do it. I think he'll do it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think he'll take everyone else in the world down first.
Yes.
But, and he might still be a big voice when it comes to ruling.
Yeah.
And he may make some decisions without her, when she's asleep. He might give her some tea, make her sleep a little longer, and he might make a lot of decisions for the realm in her place. But I think when it comes down to it, if she says, bend the knee to me, or he'll do it. That's what I think. That's what I think. Now, Aemond, I don't think Aemond would, but I think Daemon might.
Oh, well. Daemon might, but no. That's a different conversation.
So Aegon, Maester Orwell's trying to get him to walk, and it's clearly too soon. It's clearly this kid is not ready for this, and you find out that it's Larys is telling him he wants him to unknowingly start walking, unknowingly to Aemon, to start walking him around a little bit. So why do you think, because I'm like, why do you think that Larys is doing this?
Oh, because he felt he could manipulate Aegon.
Okay, but what does it matter if he's walking earlier than he should be?
Well, because then he can...
You just want him to get back to business?
Yeah, reclaim his power.
Okay.
Maybe jump back on his healing dragon?
Because you think Aemond would let him step back into that role? Or do you think he would just find a nicely, handsomely placed throw pillow and just kind of lean on it a little bit?
No, because I think if he wanted to eliminate his brother, he very much could have right there in the field after the battle at Rook's Rest. I mean, if that was his... He could have just got that done. Okay. I don't think it's that. Or, I've been looking at my chart of dragons, and House Green has...
She made it, you guys. You can show it. She made the dry erase board. I told you guys she would do it. It just might be too white for the screen.
I don't know how much it's going to show up, but it's color-coded.
She's got them all. Who goes to what?
It's not updated up to the episode, but... House Green's light on dragons, and one of the dragons they have, Dreamfire, is Helena's, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not letting Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs ride her dragon into battle.
Is she cuckoo, or is she just a green seer?
She could be a green seer. Are you putting her on a dragon to go to battle? Yeah, so maybe he wants Aegon to jump on Dreamfire.
She's got a little bit of ADD, maybe, I don't...
In any case...
Well, we'll talk about the dragon count.
Because that dragon's
We'll talk about dragon count at the end because
yeah.
we do get a shuffling of the decks here.
Yeah.
Before we get to the main event, which is what the bulk of this episode was, there was not very much time in King's Landing. This episode was mostly at Dragonstone, but we did see Rhaena leaving the Vale in the caravan that's on its way to Pentos, and she kind of bails to go discover something that's burning up.
Understand.
Something that's maybe stealing a lot of sheeps.
I don't understand how these Daemon's daughters are so passed over, overlooked. Like, you would think she'd have her own retinue, like, her own detail being like, come on, milady, Look, I get she's not pure royalty, but she is pretty high up there noble.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I think that Damon has a lot of toxic traits, but I will say that he's definitely an absentee father. I don't think that I've even seen him hold one of his kids he has with Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
And the ones he has with Lena, I don't think he even knows which one's which, honestly.
Truly.
I mean, you put them both next to each other, he'd be like A and B. I think that's what he'd be like.
You there.
So with this, it's confirmed now, guys. They're replacing the character of Nettles with Rhaena, which is fine with me. Like I said, if they're only adapting the dance, it doesn't matter, because things that happen with Rhaena and a different dragon happens after the dance. So it's not going to change anything if that's where they're stopping with this. So it's fine, and honestly, and I won't say exactly what it is because the show might actually do that. There are always these question marks amongst fans about what was the real relationship between Daemon and Nettles. Some speculated that Nettles was one of his bastard daughters. Some speculated that they were lovers. I think this solves that issue and makes it his actual daughter, which would explain why they're so close at certain parts in the story. So I think it's actually a change that I don't mind so much. I understand sometimes you've got so many characters, you gotta kind of combine them. Like the whole sewing is a lot longer than this. They kind of try to turn it into like what you would do if you were adapting this into a movie instead of showing you many attempts of people getting cooked by dragons. I'm fine with them doing this. It doesn't bother me that much, but there are some book purists that aren't happy about it. And I understand. I don't really usually go for very many changes, but when you got to combine some characters and they aren't the main players, it's not going to change the main storyline too much. I'm okay with it personally. So, but we'll see. Next week, Nettles could show up and I'll be like, shit. We'll see.
True.
Maybe when she does find this other dragon, then Nettles is there with it. We never know. We never know. So, you can look at the board here and see the wild dragons here. There's this thing with these sheep that are missing. I think you can figure out which wild dragon this is. It's out there by the Vale. Okay, so we're ready to move to the main event here with the dragon seeds arriving at Dragonstone. Myceria's her people have been spreading all them rumors, which really to me is like, you think that one of Aemon's people would have caught on to all these rumors and said, you know what, why don't I just kind of sneak over there with them and just assassinate Rhaenyra? I mean, that's what I would have done, but maybe her handmaid is just very good. Very good.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, because when they're all pushing Ulf to go, it's not like it's some big secret. Yeah.
But House Green has done nothing to curry favor with the small folk, and if you're spreading rumor around the small folk for just these people with these traits to come over, I don't think you're gonna.
The reaction I got out of Ulf was like, he always liked to brag about, oh yeah, I'm related to Viserys, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, hey, this is your opportunity. He's like, well, I don't know if it's actually true. I just kind of do that to feel special, yeah.
Like when your grandma tells you you're 1/16th Cherokee, and you're like, sure, grandma. Sure, grandma.
I'm 1/18th Viking to Valhalla. I do love that Rhaenyra basically gives a Lord Farquaad speech. It's like, some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. I mean, it's just like, wow. She put it colorfully. She had a very nice speech. I did think it was
a good speech. This is where I got my word of the episode. Where she talked about either you are going to do this, but your alternative is privation, starvation, and war. And I was like, privation? I didn't know what that one meant.
It's the one where Jay said some word in this too. I was like, that's a $20 word when a $5 one would do. So fine, I think they've got a word of the day calendar on this writing staff.
Privation,
like
lack of necessities.
Lack of necessities? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Lord Farquaad, I love that the dragon trainers are like, peace. We're not here for this shit. I figure those guys are. We're not out here risking. I mean, look at this guy. He's messed up. His face is, his whole body's like scratched off. His face is burnt.
What is he training them with? A little pokey stick?
Yeah. in sharp words.
In Valyrian.
$20 words. Yeah, $20 words. Valyrian is $50 words, I think.
Yes.
But I think that to them, it's like, okay, this is a sacred thing. These are sacred beasts. We're in here doing all this hard work, and you're just going to let any Tom, Dick, and Harry run up in here and try to claim one? No. See ya. So I get it.
And this lends me into, she had no plan at all. Like, she didn't loop these guys into like, hey, we need to find riders. She just
goes up there in her box suite and just watches.
She just showed up, and I almost think no plan would have been better than her doing this speech and then saying, hey, everybody come out.
Up there in her box, I was waiting for her to do like the Commodus in Gladiator and be like... It was really, really good. So Vermithor, beautiful Beautiful dragon. What do they call it? The bronze something?
Bronze Fury?
What a name, man! That's a beautiful dragon, it really is. And besides Vagar, that's the biggest one. So that's right there. You feel like that would even the playing field. Except he decides to go tailgating and open up the grill and do a little bit of a monster mash a little bit. So I mean, it's chaos. It's pure chaos. I think it's crazy when like the Queen's Guard are like holding the people in there, not letting them escape. It's like, oh yeah, you come here on your own free will, but you ain't leaving.
You ain't leaving without a dragon. And here's my how did you think this was gonna one at a time and then?
I remember thinking, okay, well, why wouldn't they do one at a time? But it's like I don't know that they would do it that way because like, what if you're third in line, the first person goes and boom, they claim a dragon and then you don't get a chance.
Well, so there's another dragon.
Yeah, right. But yeah.
So you're gonna let the first dragon scorch the potential rider for the second dragon? I don't know. It was.
Again, when you're dealing with a history book, it's like blank claim blank and blank claim blank. So this is all just kind of like a little bit of conjecture, which I'm cool for. But it's just like, wow, man, this is just pure chaos. And you see people falling over the sides. They're basically, I'd rather jump to my death. You don't know how far down that is. I'd rather jump to my death than get cooked, than get burned alive.
Same.
Yeah, it'd be a lot quicker, I think. But yeah, Hugh Hammer, he does huge hammer. She calls it Hugh Hammer. He I don't know if it's just like the heroics, the courage, the bravery, because he does save this woman twice, who's just like, dude, lady, get out of there. It's like when I tell you to run and you don't run, you stand there and watch me die. It's like, what did I just die for? Yeah, so I don't know if it's just he stares it down or what. I definitely don't think it's blood at this point. This has always been a point of contention. Is it blood?
I think it's old Valyrian blood, not necessarily Targaryen blood. Dragons are of old Valyria. I think if you have old Valyrian blood, which at this point, who isn't? Like, there's enough mixing.
Enough runts out there? Enough mutts?
There's enough mixing that there's going to be some trace. But also, people are saying courageous or brave, but I think it's a lot of rage from his dead daughter, from the situation he was put in by
or his wife's like basically
Aegon.
Like, you go, don't come back.
Yeah. So, like, he's got nothing left to lose.
Well, he is just like screaming, I'm ready. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like you stare. What did I say about Sir Stefan? Like, you broke eye contact.
Yeah.
Hugh doesn't break eye contact. So I think maybe when you're on that final step, maybe don't break eye contact. Unless you're Ulf. When Silverwing's just like, you'll do.
See, and I think Ulf kept eye contact, but not like a screaming panic. He was just like, oh, it's coming for me.
I don't know.
I'd have to rewatch.
That
I'd have
actually
to
really
rewatch.
surprised me. I like that it's kind of a different bonding for each. Look, so Sea Smoke just flat out claims Adam,
Runs him down.
and then Hugh's
Runs
courage,
him down.
Hugh's courage and Ulf's cowardice. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I do like it's not all just like the same thing. Like they walk up, they like a dog smells my hand, and they were my puppy after that. I like that it's not doing that, but it is a little different.
And I don't know if I'd go with Ulf's cowardice, but almost like recognizing the power, right?
Well, I did think that he stepped on a dragon egg. Apparently, he just stepped on the
too.
clutch, and that's just like
I thought he
embryonic
did too,
fluid
and I was
or
like,
something
how
like that.
is he gonna survive?
Because I was like, dude, if you actually stepped on a dragon egg, ain't no way you're leaving that hole. There ain't no way.
Here's something I was expecting too with this large mass group up there. I was expecting Ulf or maybe Huge to get burnt and some rando to jump up. Some rando to claim it. I thought that would have been a fun little twist. I love my twists.
Well, if Ulf is really the direct descendant of Queen Alicent, I guess it makes sense why, if you are going by off of direct bloodline, like you would have a really, really strong claim.
And Sea Smoke is claiming his half brothers or his previous rider's half brother.
So I wonder. I don't know very much about Hugh's background, honestly, in that regard. I'd have to look that up.
Mom is supposed to be Daemon's half aunt, which makes him a quarter cousin. I don't know. But of course, who's his dad? We don't know who his dad is. So his dad could have some sort of.
Okay. So I mean, it could still be.
He doesn't
who
know
knows?
who his dad is. So.
Who knows? This is an argument that we'll be having forever. But it's right up there with like what really caused the doom of Valyria. We'll never really know. But I think it's funny that Ulf just like goes for a joyride like right away. I don't
think he had a choice.
These guys
think this was happening.
Handle this stuff way better than me because I just want to assume that like the first 20 minutes where he was screaming for his life, he'd finally gotten used to it and was like, hey, this is kind of fun. Because I think it would be fun after a little bit. But that initial flight would be like, holy God, holy God. So Aemon sees what's going on. Everybody's screaming dragon, and so he flies a dragon stone to check it out. I think it's funny that Vagar's too big to be in the dragon, but he just kind of just chills out in the garden.
Just hanging out
just hanging out there in the field somewhere. But Rhaenyra is there. One of the most awesome shots I've ever seen on either Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon, where she's literally just like, come at me, bro. And I mean, there are so many times people will use the phrase come at me, bro, but holy crap, does it apply there? You know what? You got Cyrax, you got Sea Smoke, and you got Silverwing up there, perched on the top. And it's just
landing,
like, yeah, it's like, I don't care if you've got the biggest dragon ever. We'll go back and let's see if we can convince my sister to fly her dragon and help me, maybe. Because I think Vhagar could probably take on Vermithor. I don't think he could take on all three of them.
You said Vhagar's worth 3? Well,
Vermithor +1 would probably equal Vhagar, maybe like one of the small ones. I don't know, but just really, what an awesome shot that was. That's just like a wallpaper quality stuff, and that's why I think this is probably a severely expensive episode. But I think the feedback I've got is this is probably people's second favorite episode this year, behind Rook's Rest. Where do you think you put it probably out there? Or?
I liked the Battle of the Twins. I liked some of the early stuff.
Yeah.
I know everybody's going for slow. I kind of feel like this was, again, more of a build-up. So now I'm have no idea how I'm going to get enough story in the next episode to have a finale.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I don't think it is. I've been saying I thought they were going to do the Battle of the Gullet and another battle that I can't say the name because the name alone is a spoiler.
It's a spoiler, okay.
So I can't say it. There's no way that they're going to do that in the last episode. And I started thinking back to it. I was like, think of Game of Thrones. It was always the penultimate episode each season that was the big one. And the 10th was just kind of the aftermath or setting up the next season. Is always how it happened. So I don't think we're going to get that big. I'm thinking that the big thing I'm thinking of
story left
is going to be the beginning of season 3, because you would have to introduce Daeron, who they keep bringing up.
Oh yeah, they did mention him, and that his dragon had just started taking flight.
Yeah. So I mean, that brings me to the team, the roster here. Okay, so Team Black currently has 6 riders, or 6 dragons with riders. Okay, so we got Cyrax, we got Caraxes, which you were like, well, maybe Sea Smoke, Vermithor, Silverwing. Who am I missing here? Who's Jace's dragon?
Vermax.
Vermax. Okay, so you got those 6. That's a hell of a lineup, right?
Yeah.
And the other side, Team Green, you've got 3 dragons. You got Daeron and
Dreamfire.
Dreamfire. See, she's good at this.
Helena.
I should study this. Helena has Dreamfire. Who does Daeron have? You say just Tesseron?
Tesseron.
Okay, and of course Vhagar, which I said, counts as 2 or 3. But still, you're looking at a 6-3 advantage. So she's got 2-1 on you now. I'm like, girl, what you waiting for?
Yeah.
Fly to King's Landing and end this shit.
So that's what, I think it's coming. And I don't know if we mentioned this, what is it, Jasper Blackthorn bringing the rumor of the dragon.
Jasper Wild.
Yeah,
Jasper Wild does tell Larys, there's rumors of, a dragon out there, but not enough. I
think Sea Smoke.
Because it's like
Sea Smoke was seen with Adam,
which was,
so
we the viewer know that that's true.
Ships.
But he's like, my brother's cousin's nephew's former roommate saw it.
Steward.
So you understand why Larry's like, maybe this one's best just kind of left to the wind. Now, is that Larry's using something to his advantage?
I think so. Definitely.
But I got to think now is like, because Aemon's going to find out what. So you're telling me you knew about this shit and you didn't say anything?
Oh, no. Nobody's
He's going to be sending more of
you
you to the wall. Like he sent those 2 idiots to the wall. So it's just, it's going to be bad. Aemon is not going to be thrilled with this sudden change because he was big man on campus right now. He's like, I could probably fly down there, Dragon Stone, and end this all right now if I wanted to. But, hey, let's be cool. Because I'm just going to wait for my uncle to fight because, I got to fight him. That's the attitude he has right now.
Well, so this is what I'm looking at coming up into this next episode because now you have me suspicious that I'm going to end this season massively unsatisfied because I need so much more story. But I'm like, okay, we've got it. We've got Red taking the sky, or House Black taking the sky with the win on the dragons. Corlys leading the seas. He's got the boats ready to go. Whatever pirate riffraff.
It almost seems like they got a 3-1 lead right now. There's no way they can blow it, right?
Daemon has amassed a land army, which was their huge lacking.
The tide has turned. Yeah, you can
Team Daemon. But I think this is, the WWE Royal Rumble where we're teamed up together until we're the last 2 here?
Well, Aemon's got Chris and Cole out there running around. You know where he's at right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like...
Meeting
you've left everything just kind of unguarded here. So I was like, you could go take King's Landing right now if you wanted to.
High Garden.
So. Yeah, so they're spread out. I'm saying they might have a bigger force, but they're spread out. Now you've got you've got the river folk, and you've got 6 dragons.
And
Game
you've
done
got
changed.
Corliss's ships.
Yeah, and you got the sea. Yeah, you're screwed. You're screwed. So
Land, air, and sea.
You got to be a closer, Amon. You got to be a closer. But as we know, there was a point where it was like we thought, there's no way Cersei can lose this because she had a 3-1 lead, and that didn't end too well for her. But that's not canon, so we don't count it. But again, that's pretty much it. But look, I could be wrong. Next week could be this huge, crazy battle. It could be. I just feel like they've never done that with any of the Game of Thrones shows. They've never done that.
Maybe Otto resurfaces with the.
I think you'll see Otto next week.
Yeah, with the
AutoZone.
Yeah, we'll get in the AutoZone. Bring back Darren.
I still don't think I don't think they've
dragons.
cast Daron yet, so I think you'll see him till next year.
season.
Next season, I think they might actually want to get a name or something like that for that character. So it's going to be a big character.
Oh, okay.
Again, there's still so many people who are like, oh, it's so slow, and I'm like, guys, what do you remember about Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones was not some just nonstop action television show. I feel like this is the same world. I've got no problems with this. Again, I admit I might be too close to the source material as you, a non-reader of this. Do you feel like it's too slow?
No, but I like character development. I like build-up. I like caring when a character is about to die or loses everything. I like being invested in them, so...
Yeah, I keep blaming MCU culture, saying people need stuff to blow up every couple seconds. But I'm not saying you're wrong. If you aren't vibing with it, man, you aren't vibing with it. For me, I think this has been perfectly plotted this year, and I looked at Rook's Rest as the big epic moment. That was the climax, the battle of the season. But I did think that we were going to be getting to at least the Battle of the Gullet this season. But I don't think that we are. I think there's still so much stuff we haven't done with certain characters. I can't even say the name of the character because that would be a spoiler. We haven't done with a certain character that I'm like, unless they're just completely cutting that out, we can't do Battle of the Gullet yet. And they can't do it in one episode. So, well, it's the next big loss. Let's just put it that way. The next big loss. So there we go.
Oh, I don't want to lose anyone else.
Oh, okay. Well, good. That means you care. That means that means you're doing it right.
Yes.
So are you
even there was a second there where I was like, how far Allison going to go down in this water?
So are you at that point where you're like, hey, human character dies, but a dragon dies, and you're like flipping tables?
Yeah, I am kind of actually severely annoyed that Aegon survived and Sunfire is
a question mark.
Apparently not survived, but yes, I'm annoyed. I would rather have Sunfire and not Aegon. Maybe I'm not the only person who feels that way, Aemon.
We'll see. Well, that's all we got for this week, guys. I think that we'll actually, there is rumors that the final season finale has leaked. We are not watching it early. It's leaked online. I will rather wait and watch it in nice 4K on my giant television. I will wait for this Sunday to watch it at normal times. But we'll make sure that we get that out on time next week. So hopefully we'll get our schedule back on course. But the Red Sowing, which I still think is, an interesting episode
Army of Bastards.
Yeah, so let us know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? Where would you rank it in the season? I'd love to know. So drop in the comments, guys, and we will talk to you there.